is Brent Giles at Lux Research. I'm here with Chuck Paul at Henkel. He's a vice president in innovation. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about what Henkel does.
Yeah, sure. So a lot of people have heard the name Henkel before, and they usually think of the knife company, but that is not the company that we are. Henkel is a 140-year-old company. It's family controlled at this point, 59% family controlled. It started out as a laundry detergent company. It's still about 1/3 laundry detergents. Roughly 1/6 is beauty care. And the other half of the company is adhesives. And adhesives is the part that I'm part of. I did bring a couple of samples to show you of our lead brand, which is called Loctite, which many people might be familiar with. Yeah, that's a little bit about Henkel.
So how would you describe your role at Henkel?
Yeah, so my role at Henkel is to support the growth of the adhesives business through, mainly I do technology assessments, and that's where I use Lux a lot. I do technology assessments for all of our M&A activity, as well as our newly announced corporate venture capital fund, just the last couple of weeks, henkelventures.com. And I also do some, as part of that, since I interface with a lot of universities from which some of the startups come, I also do open innovation. So I look for technology, either from a startup or from university, that fits with our main research program for Henkel.
So how important is innovation as opposed to reputation or price in staying ahead in the adhesive space?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll tell you a little bit about the adhesives business. So the adhesives business, when it comes to business, which is our main, so I showed you some consumer products, but our largest business is business to business. And it's really about safety for our customers. And let me explain what I mean by that. And technology is a piece of that safety. So I like to say that we provide our customers with tricks, TRICS. And so there's two parts of that are related to technology. So the first part is, if you're a big company, you want to know, that we have a toolbox of innovation that is broad and is accessible to you. You want to know that we're, customer responsive. So we're responsive and committed. We have a wide-ranging technical service team. And then you want to know that we're on the forefront of innovation, so that if you have an adhesion problem, one, we have the bulk of the adhesive solutions, we have that toolbox, but if there's something new coming along, we're going to know about it. So we're going to be able to help you. You're not going to fall behind your competition. And then the other two parts, C and S, are the things you're referring to. One is cost. You have to have reasonable cost. We're able to do that because we have a very large company. We're able to leverage our synergies. And the last one that people don't think about, you did mention, is supply security. So supply security is extremely important. Mm-hmm. A lot of the adhesive materials are relatively small scale materials. So any disruption in the supply chain could be a big problem for our customers. So we have multiple plants where we can supply from. We have, in addition, for a lot of applications, we have multiple formulas so that we can draw from a different raw material source. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the innovation is a critical part.
You have an internal metric. Your annual report says you have a 30% innovation metric. How do you keep that real? How do you keep that from being purely incremental?
Yeah. So I mean, I think everybody uses the same metric, which is sales of new products that were formulated, launched in the last 5 years. So 30% of our sales is from products launched in the last 5 years. And actually, you talk about innovation. When we started the process of reformulating our R&D group, which I'll talk a little bit more about later, our innovation rate was 18% and falling. So we changed the way we do innovation, and we've brought it up to this level of 30%. Now that 30% includes only materials or only new products that have a perceivable benefit to the customer, right? So it's not just a new product that, okay, we got a cheaper raw material. It has to have a benefit to the customer. So that's real innovation.
When you're looking at innovation, are you trying to draw from what your customer is saying you need, or are you looking at the larger space to see what's possible and then bringing to the customer, or is it what's that mix looks like?
Yeah. So I mean, in terms of so how do we do innovation, and how did we restructure to get more innovation? A lot of analogies to the talk today from the fellow from Solvay. We've done a lot of those sort of things, which is if you're trying to find innovation in the markets that you're in, you have sales force, you have technical service people who are at the customer a lot. You're going to get that information for those markets about where they're headed. That's not too hard. But in order to really grow beyond that, you need to reach out. So you need to look at other places, we call them adjacencies, other new markets or other changing industries that would fit our materials, our kind of business model. So examples of that. So that starts with looking at what's happening in energy, what's happening in automotive, and so some examples that we're looking at today would be things like printed electronics, 3D printing is an area. We sell specialty coatings, and we could be in the area of films, for instance, because we're heavily into electronics, and you already sell some films in there. So we're looking at moving further in that direction. So we've set up this innovation team separate from the research team to find these adjacencies and really scope them out. Because sometimes even like the existing businesses will find them, but they don't have the mandate, they don't have the time to even organize their thoughts about it, never mind pursue it. So we have a formal process to pursue it.
If you look forward 5-10 years, what do you think you're going to be doing that maybe people won't be expecting? How do you think either the space is going to change or your approach to innovation in the space is going to change over time?
Yeah. Well, I don't think our approach to innovation will change. I mean, we just made a big change. So we're really counting on the venture fund to keep us tapped into a lot of other opportunities. And I think that's going to be the case. And, getting our own, organizing our thoughts around that is helpful to utilize the materials we get from Lux. The other way we've been able to do that is by investing in a couple of venture capital funds as part of our corporate venture capital fund. And there we're getting a lot of deal flow, we're getting their perspectives, we're getting their similar companies. So I think on the innovation side, it's new for us and it's going to be successful, I'm quite sure. But in terms of spaces that we could go into, if you think very long term, so I mentioned some short term adjacencies, very long term, we have, we're number 1 or 2 in every market that we're in and in every region that we're in. And we're in almost every market and almost every region. We touch virtually every industry because people need to bond things together, no matter what they're building for the most part. So we have a very extensive technical service network. So we already call on customers frequently. We're there as problem solvers, right? Adhesives is, we're a solution provider, right? Right now that's an adhesive solution, but I could see with more information coming, the Internet of Things, and especially that's going first to industry, that with more and more information and with already the set of contacts there, we could form good templates for a service business, a more extensive service business beyond adhesives, to help our customers control processes. And because we're in every industry, we could form a template in one industry which could be leveraged across many other industries.
Very good. Thanks so much, Chuck Paul.
Yeah, thank you, Brent.